So when do
Hello.
we start?
Right now, Anthony, we have been live for the past 6 seconds. You fuck. All right. So me and Anthony just got done a watch party on my YouTube channel, watching the Pokemon Direct, and so I got I think four large takeaways from that Direct entirely. Um,
Watch it.
go watch it on go watch our video on HIMedia on YouTube. So first, the new Pokemon Snap game looks amazing.
Oh yeah, it looks absolutely beautiful. I love how the Pokemon interact with their environments.
Hmm.
It's very nice. It gives it a very real, like I guess a real sense of a world. Like that there are other creatures in this.
Hmm. Um, Second, the intro video of just like it was just like a trip down memory lane. Third, the Diamond and Pearl remakes look phenomenal, and I've come in my pants because of Pokemon Legends Arceus.
It's true. I watched.
For real, dude. Let's start with the simplest stuff and start with just the intro. So that was like a really nice little trip down memory lane. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really nice too. Again, though, like I expressed in the reaction video, is that they already kind of blew the load a little too early with that viral music video.
Yeah, from last
That
year.
one was, yeah, that one was where it was at. It's, and this is nice. It's just, it doesn't have this, it has the feeling of, oh, this is nice, instead of the real feeling of, like, I don't know, like it doesn't hit you super hard with the nostalgia. I guess that's the best way to say it.
That's valid. There
That does not mean it's bad by any stretch though.
Absolutely not. Um, but that's not the easy part's over. Like, so back to Pokemon Snap. I will say that like the models in that game are some of the best I've ever seen. But I think that's more of just like of a texture and shading. Um,
Technique.
yeah, like I think like the models are relatively like stable. Like there's no you don't really have to change like the base models for that they imported from the game. But I think up like changing the textures look and the shading of the lighting and stuff is very key and important there.
Oh yeah, lighting can make the difference in playing a game. Um, there's a very good example of, and it went kind of viral for a little bit, but there is this Kingdom Hearts screenshot of of what it looks like in one of the most beautiful towns. If you take away the lighting, it is so glaring and awkward without the lighting that it is you don't realize how integral it is to the environment and the characters. And honestly, I think Pokemon Snap really brings that to the front.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, One of the things I will say though is um I I don't I didn't I wasn't sure if it was on rails or not.
It
It
the
didn't like
original Pokemon
yeah, I know the
the original
original
Pokemon
Pokemon Snap was, but it had to be on rails because if it wasn't, like there wasn't enough memory to like allow for like those type of intricate models doing those things randomly and be able to explore. But now, like, listen, don't quote me on this, and I'm not keeping my hopes up for it. But I would not be surprised if if we had a little more leeway as far as movement goes, because in that entire trailer, I didn't see train tracks. I didn't see like it didn't seem to me like you were on rails per se. It just looked like people. But I wonder if there will be a little more choice in terms of like if it is on rails, if we can go in different directions, or if there's a little more range of movement in some capacity. And I would also hope that
I
maybe like there's like you can interact with like the world of the lentil region like a little bit more than just in menus like you did in the original.
I would I I share your sentiment, Evan, but unfortunately there's been confirmation that it's on rails
Damn.
because in the trailer video that we saw for this one and in the previous one, it shows that your character's in like a little like
Yeah,
RC car
I remember
car
that.
thing.
You're right.
But it also shows that I think in the last trailer, it also showed that there like it showed arrows on the floor to show your path you're going, but it's not like an actual railway. So I think I think it's pretty clear that it's on rails for a set route, but obviously it doesn't show up on the screen to to take away from the experience.
Definitely.
I do share your sentiment though that like I kind of wish like we get choices like on which route we take and stuff like that. I know even the original Pokemon Snap had a lot of leeway with like how you interacted with the environments and stuff like that that made certain events happen.
Right.
So I can only expect the same from this, and hopefully a bit more. And and honestly, like just taking different routes that would lead to completely different areas for the same level, that would make it a lot more interesting too. So
Absolutely.
I yeah, I think that's something they could definitely benefit from. But
We'll have to see.
but other than that, like um, like I I look forward to it. I guess that's the best way of saying it. Like I look forward to it, and I'm sure there are plenty of people who already are, and hopefully there are people who get this as a first time and are like, "Wow, I really want more of this."
I
Um,
completely agree.
Now I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm probably not gonna get it at all. Not because I don't like it or anything like that. Quite the opposite. I appreciate how lovely it looks. I love how
It'd be
every
something you
Pokemon
would
is.
watch like on YouTube or on stream. It's not something you would play. It's
Yeah,
something you would watch because
yeah. It
it's
is.
visually gorgeous.
Yeah. But to me, it feels like no different than like a walking simulator. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get 100% what you mean. One of the things, but speaking of, but moving on, I think that it might be prudent to talk about the Arceus Legends game first because there's a lot less we know about it definitively. So,
Oh yeah.
so I will say from the gameplay we saw, it gives me Breath of the Wild vibes in terms of like the environment and how and this is I think the first time like we're not getting like brand new starters or starters for a specific generation. We're getting like they brought in Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott as the grass, fire, and water starters. Now, firstly, I already know that you are fucking stoked that your boy Cyndaquil is one of the starters for this game.
Yes, I am. I love Cyndaquil since Gen 2, and of all like out of all the Pokemon in every generation, he is really high up on my list. Honestly, it's kind of a tie between him and Kanto Raichu, but most of the time Cyndaquil outwins that, and honestly, I would say Cyndaquil is probably one of my favorite is my favorite Pokemon.
Absolutely. So I do like that they kept like some of the core gameplay of Pokemon, but it looks so much more interesting now. At least
Yeah,
the combat does. I also like how they separated catching Pokemon and the actual combat proper. Like you don't have to like
yes.
you don't risk killing the Pokemon you want to catch.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it will still have the same gimmick of hey, you could weaken it and then catch it too.
I wouldn't be
Um,
surprised, of course.
yeah, but I'm glad to know that like every like if you wanted to catch a Pokemon along the way to your goal, you don't have to stop every 30 seconds for a fight just to go through your menus and just like throw a Pokeball.
Hmm.
Now you could just throw it, wait, and if it's captured, cool. If not, you could just move on if you're not comfortable doing it.
So on surface level, it looks to me like they took the best aspects of Sword and Shield
Oh,
and
which
took
was
them
just one aspect, which was the
the wild area.
yep.
Well, the wild well also there was a handful of changes with the actual gameplay that unless you played the game you wouldn't know. So there's a couple things that changed. First off, there aren't really like you don't like the only you only get like there are random Pokemon that show up in the grass, but you see them, and then they will like obviously try and chase you and shit. But if you're on a bike, they can't catch you. Um,
Mhm.
there's no more walk in tall grass and like just do like jerk your joystick around or move around a lot and you get a battle. No, that doesn't happen anymore. There's no like
Oh no,
which is
honestly in the trip. Oh, go ahead.
which so for one thing that is a gigantic benefit. That is
Oh
like
yeah.
that's like one of those it's like so they added a lot of so the reason why I despite all of my misgivings with Sword and Shield, I still think it is a better Pokemon game than something like X and Y. It's because they, despite the fact that they fucked up a lot, they also made a lot of quality of life decisions and enough departures from previous entries in the series that it made its issues, while glaring, not insurmountable. So like they got rid of like random encounters. Obviously there's some Pokemon that only show up through like if you the random like the you don't see what the Pokemon are in the tall grass, but you don't have you don't get to, you don't like if you don't want to fight a go get like have a Pokemon battle with a wild Pokemon, you can avoid it no problem. It's actually not that hard.
Yeah.
The wild area 1,000%. Third, you can access your entirety of your PC without having to go to a Pokemon Center, which is another great thing. But that was originated in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. They also have the fact that they also have they've made EV training relatively simple. But I think that's also they have their own gimmick or whatever.
Can I bring up a correction?
No TMs or HMs. Obviously, and in fact, you don't even have like the ride Pokemon from Alola anymore. You literally just have your bike. They don't. There's like nothing in the game is gate kept because of like needing to break a rock or break a tree or anything. It's like literally the only thing. There's two forms. There's three forms. You don't have a bike, you have a bike, you have a bike that can go on water. That's the difference. And then you can call a taxi whenever you want to fly somewhere. So they kind of they trim the fat in that regard, which is also really, really nice. Yeah, so like there's a lot of stuff from a simplicity, from making things more simplistic that makes it like only my second worst generation. So what were you gonna say, Anthony?
I was going to point out that the non-mandatory Pokemon battles was actually brought up in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee first.
Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. My apologies.
No, it's fine. And yeah, I share a lot of the same sentiments that you do. I do like how it's instead of the like the battles in the tall grass, you're actually using the tall grass now to hide yourself from encounters.
You can,
which is smart,
around, which is fun. But that was also brought back. That also was they also took inspiration of that from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I don't think you played those games, but in those games there were certain Pokemon. You had this thing called the Pokédex radar, which sometimes Pokemon would appear in the tall grass, and if you ran into them, they would have they would have the chance to have a hidden ability. They would have like skin moves they wouldn't normally have at that level, or even at that Pokemon in general. They would be much more powerful than the average Pokemon in that area. They usually had better IVs, things like that of that nature. And you would have to sneak up on those Pokemon to start the encounter. So I think that's where they took a little level of inspiration from.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would believe it.
I don't know what the purpose of that lunge dodge that they had in the game was for. I think it might just be like maybe dodging out of the way of Pokemon coming at you to start an encounter.
Yeah, like I know that So the trailer described it at the end as action RPG. And action RPG is something that you would use for the sake of, like, Kingdom Hearts. Where that there's combat in some form or another involved at the same time as... Well, basically, there's no turn-based combat. That's usually when action RPG usually means. And so I'm wondering, like, does your player do more than just capture Pokemon? Like, do they do some do they do some platforming and stuff like that? That's
Oh,
what
I
I'm
think
trying to get at.
well they looked dressed as ninjas to me, or at least something ninja like. So I think
Yeah.
that's a genuine possibility. I think though, like it's also like kind of I think like if they really wanted to do something interesting and really wanted to innovate, um, you would basically like take control of whatever Pokemon you were fighting with, like in battle, and you had like a dodge key that like Pokemon could dodge side to side, and it's how quick it dodge was based on its obviously its speed, and then like the four buttons, the X, Y, B, A buttons are basically like the four different moves it can use.
Oh, so like kind of like a slightly neutered like battle version of Pokken.
Right, it's sort of like pairs Pokken with the Pokemon with like the base Pokemon games, you know. So it's like the Pokemon has HP and it can use each move a certain amount of times, but it can't. But like it can't obviously like and each move has like a tiny bit of a cooldown between uses and stuff like that, you know. And
Yeah.
you know that I think might be like obviously we're not getting it in this game, but I think 10 years from now that might be the Pokemon game we get.
Oh yeah. I mean, and in this one, who knows? Like we might actually get a Pokemon game where you could block an attack instead of just taking it full on.
Yeah,
That would be
maybe.
interesting.
It'd be interesting, but I think like I don't think the company is ready to take their brand so far out of Pokemon's comfort zone. I will say that this game is well out of their comfort zone already, but
Oh yeah.
but it's also
And
kind of like way past due.
it's
If
yeah,
Legend of Zelda
it's
was willing to make that leap, like Pokemon sure as shit can.
yeah, if yeah, it's definitely something that that it just it needed something new
It
to
does.
at least like do something like that. And whether that be a harder difficulty or whether it be more complex mechanics or in this case like us like just a more expanded version of the basic combat, those things like that can breathe in new life. Now it just comes down to how they handle it.
We will have to see. Do you have any other thoughts on the Pokemon Legends RCS game before we continue, or or shall we get to the main event?
I have one more thing to say.
Go ahead.
Um, this is probably the only time in the entire game series of Pokemon that they willingly acknowledge Arceus and not through, but they willingly acknowledge Arceus in the canon without it being through an event.
Or a movie.
Yeah, because if it's through an event, you could debate whether those are like canon or not, or if those actually happen in the game.
Well, I mean,
You know,
like, right?
with the
It's like,
exception of with the exception of a few ones that are like very obviously integral to the story.
right. You have things like what's it called? Like Deoxys feels more canon now that he appeared in
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
right. So that's certainly a thing. One th-
Oh,
so,
Silver from fucking Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Your rival with the event with Celebi.
yep,
That one,
yeah.
yep, that one was that one is an event, but it's very much like integral to the story.
Right, it's considered more canon, especially since it's like Silver's uh fight with his father, Giovanni.
Yeah, yeah.
Who the fuck did Giovanni see the child? Oh boy. But I digress. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about what probably both me and Anthony are most excited for. Anthony probably more so than me. I already got my Generation 3 remake, even though it was not it wasn't in hindsight everything I wanted it to be per se. But I digress. Brilliant, Diamond, and what was the other
Shining
one?
Pearl.
Shining Pearl. So these these remakes kind of like remind me more of like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire in a way, because it has like the like the mainline Pokemon games, Sword and Shield, like they look more realistic, they look more human, but these remakes they took a more chibi look to them. But they even went even further than they did with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Like, it almost looks kind of like the remake of Link's Awakening in a way. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of, like, the top down, like, it looked like this is, while it's not obviously the sprited game we all remember, it's definitely going to feel like Pokemon Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah. It may not like be exactly the pixel artwork, but is definitely the style of those games, which is fine by me. Which only makes it better, easier for me to accept the more rugged or grid-like design. I'm more willing to accept it in that kind of style than in something like Sun and Moon or Sword and Shield, where it's very glaring that that the entire environment isn't super, explorative
Well,
or natural.
absolutely. It's like you can't, like, if, like, there's, but I will say this though. I like, if there's anything I'm most excited about from this game, like, I think one of the things I'm most excited about is probably the fact that they're going to be remastering all the music.
Oh yeah, I'm also looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to
Like, with the
to a
exception
lot
of
of
Gen
quality of
5,
life.
like,
Oh, go ahead.
with only Gen 5 beating it, Gen 4 has some of the best fucking music in the game. Like, and here's the thing, I love, 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 love all of Gen 3's music. I think it's some of the best. Some of the music in it is some of the best music Pokemon's ever made. Like, I think, like, the boss battle music for, like, Kyogre Groudon and Rayquaza is, like, the best battle, like, boss battle music, especially, like in terms of anticipation as like you're starting the battle. But, from a complete package standpoint, Diamond and Pearl, like, is excellent.
Yeah, as a complete OST, Diamond and Pearl is very. It touches everything from atmospheric to energetic to threatening to sinister.
Mm-hmm.
It is touching all of it. And the one musical piece that comes to mind every time I think of Diamond and Pearl is Cynthia's theme.
Mm-hmm.
When you fire as the champion.
God, we're gonna have to fight
Holy
Cynthia
shit.
again. Fuck.
Oh yeah. Fuck. Man, fun fact if you don't know, Cynthia was notoriously difficult for a lot of people because she was the only champion up until that point that had perfect IVs in all of her teams.
And she's still considered, I think, one of the hardest, not the hardest champion in any Pokemon game to date.
In terms of storyline, yes, because Red still beats out every other champion,
Right.
but he's not technically story. He's like side plot.
Yeah. But one thing, there's a couple things. So one of the other things I'm excited about is Iron Island, and that whole saga, and being able to see that saga from a different perspective.
The opening forest where you're. I'm actually looking forward. I'm looking forward to all the events because it was in Diamond and Pearl, but it was most prominent in Platinum, where you had plenty of events where if you go through a certain area or like a certain dungeon, you would be partnered up with an NPC, and they would heal your Pokemon or they'll fight alongside you. And that's actually one of the more memorable moments for me because I remember exploring the giant. I forgot the not Viridian Forest of Sinnoh was. But you paired up with this green-haired NPC with a Chansey, who was stupidly strong at the time, but also healed you after every battle.
It made getting through the forest, quite frankly, a goddamn cakewalk.
Oh yeah, and yeah, because because the forest was long, and if you want to explore everything, it made it even longer. But with that NPC there to help you, it really sped up the process, and it took a lot of the edge off, so you're not wasting so many items either, because you're still just starting out.
It was called the Eterna Forest, by the way.
Thank you, the Eternal Forest. And when you can obviously come back later when you're stronger, but that was a nice little piece of like, hey, you could do this alone, but like you really don't have to. Again, I think you could just skip that character though if you don't talk to them. I'm not too sure. But
Or
why would you do that?
what about, or think about Stark Mountain.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm not sure. So so I'm really really hopeful that we get a fucking Battle Frontier this time. Like it's been
Uh,
years. It's been years and years and years, and by God, like we were cheated. I was cheated out of it in Gen 3. You know, it was it I they teased it to us back then, freaking cocksuckers. But I hope we get it. So one of the hope areas that I really hope that they keep, that not only that they preserve, but also amplify and maybe even expand on a little bit, is the battle, survival, and resort areas.
yeah, I would agree with that. Um, didn't Diamond and Pearl have a Battle Frontier, or was that just Platinum?
Just platinum.
Ooh, well,
Yeah,
that's another thing that we could definitely take up. Uh, we are aware that it's been said it's a faithful remake, but hey, listen, guys, just because it's a faithful remake doesn't mean you don't have to, you know, keep all the bugs, the bullshit gimmicks and shit like that. You don't have to keep all that. You know, it's called quality of life for a reason. You
right.
know, and hey, maybe a few events that work better in the story in Platinum, but it wasn't in Diamond and Pearl. Hey, maybe those can just still be in there too.
And here's my
And
thing: don't listen. Don't put like, if you're going to make a platinum remake as well, I understand you not putting some of those bits in. But if there are zero plans to make a fucking platinum remake, put them in. Like, you don't have, like, obviously stay true to like the main, like, Diamond and Pearl stories, but for fuck's sake, if we could get like something resembling like Cyrus being a fuckhead with Garatina, like, as a post story, would be nice. And it'd be nice if we got a
yeah,
goddamn Battle Frontier too. And please, for the love of God, can we please get the villa that we got given by that Cynthia gave us in the resort area? Like,
because I'm not the only person that would admit that I spent a lot more time than I probably should have in there.
yeah, it's like listen, like, part of the reasons why, here's the thing, dude. Like, I Emerald really had a like was like a forefather for like platinum. Like a lot of the shit that people like about platinum are a lot of the same things, that like the little side things you can do. Like, every Pokemon game is defined by what the fuck can I do outside of combat in the main story.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, and the two games that really did that to the best, in my opinion, was Emerald as the forefather, and Platinum as the most successful variant.
Hmm.
Now, to be fair, I did like the Battle Frontier in um, Emerald more, just because it felt more large and expansive and interesting. But that
Yeah,
was just me.
I
Um,
can't.
you
I
can't, yeah.
have
You never
opinion
saw
one way
it.
or
You
another.
never saw it, so you don't know.
Yeah, let me just say this out there now for people who don't know. I played every gen of Pokemon games with the exception of Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. I played Emerald and I got up to the seventh gym and to the event where Rayquaza interferes between Groudon and Kyogre. I stopped and I never had the urge to pick it up again.
Which is,
listen,
for
I have.
anybody who's listening, know he like, you know how much fucking content he missed out on.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not gonna say like, "Oh, the game was fucking awful." Like, that's why I didn't play it. No, listen. The thing is, I just fell out of it, and I had no interest to go back in. Now, I'm not gonna hark on it because what can I say? I haven't finished the fucking game.
Right.
But honestly, like, I'm not gonna lie. From my experience, none of the beats were hitting it for me. It never hit me in the same stride that Diamond and Pearl did, or Fire Red and Leaf Green. Although that one was more of a nostalgia thing, or Gold or Silver, or hell, even X and Y did for me. I'm sorry, Black and White did for me. My mistake. That last one didn't happen. But again, like, I don't have any negative opinions on it. I just I just don't have an opinion period on it.
Yeah, I get that. But so since I've covered, so we've covered the air like the second half, like the second quarter, like the last bit of the game. You know, we covered the music, Cynthia, um, the art style, how cute the fucking animations are of the people walking. Um, is there anything else we're forgetting?
Um,
We talked about
I
Iron
guess
Island and Stark Mountain
I guess
in the
national decks would probably be the best example to bring up.
yeah,
Listen,
yeah, yeah.
listen. If you just have the Sinnoh decks, that's fine. That's cool. You know, keep how it was in the game originally. But like, it wouldn't hurt to put a national decks post game. Yeah, I can't catch all the Pokemon there, but it's the thought that
Well,
matters.
remember, it's not
It's a
Game Freak making it this time around.
I know, but it also depends on how much leeway they have with it. Again,
Yeah.
it kind of scares me when they straight up say Faithful remake because Faithful could be in a lot of things, and that's a pretty loose term.
I'm also happy that Masuda is also co-creating it.
Oh yeah,
Because everything is already, they already have a game plan of what they need to like do to like it kind of allows him to like if he like he's known to be more of a creative person in try new things.
yeah.
So I'm hopeful that he maybe add some stuff to the game that he wanted to originally back then, but either he didn't have the time or the technology to do it back then. So, fingers crossed we get something that's interesting and not some bullshit like the fucking Photo Club from Sun and Moon.
Oh yeah.
That was
And hey,
that was a waste of fucking time. Listen, I understand people in Japan love it. Great. Not me.
but yeah, it's you know what? It kind of goes back to and this is severely off topic, but it's kind of in my name, my username. But it's kind of like in the Sonic Adventure games. A lot of people didn't care about the Chow stuff. A lot of people did, But the fact that it was there was what made the difference.
Definitely,
You know,
but I think,
and
but it's like I've never there's certain types of
oh no, I'm completely agreeing with you. I'm just saying like you
that
can
was
it's
totally
like
for Japan. That was 110% for Japan. Like
oh
I
yeah,
haven't
definitely.
I haven't met a single American that gives any type of shit about that feature from that game.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just saying that like listen, if you want to put it in, sure, cool. But like there better be something with equal value and effort for everyone else. Like come on. You can't just like try not to cater to just one crowd. Come on.
Right.
That said, I even though it is a faithful remake, I do hope there are some integral quality of life changes. A lot of people fell out of Diamond and Pearl and just skipped the Platinum because, or some people just played Diamond and Pearl and didn't get Platinum at all because it was so slow. And that's honestly the biggest thing about Gen 4 that was the issue. It was sluggish in terms of combat, overworld running, and movement. And hell, you get the running shoes pretty fucking late into the game. Like, not until like the third town you visit. So, if we could start off with that, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And let's not remember all those. You remember how long it took to save in the DS games?
Yeah. Thank God for better processing power.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you know what's so let me think. So the Senno remakes are coming out this year.
Yeah.
So let's
So Sinnoh remakes are coming at the end of this year. New Pokemon Snap is coming out in April, so that's not too far off. And
I mean, at that point, I'm gonna have money from my new job, so I might pick it up and stream it. I don't know.
hey, if you stream it, I'd be happy to
Co-commentate,
be there.
yeah.
Yeah, the co-commentate. Watch, this better not be like very like, man, that aged poorly when I don't show up. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Anyways,
So, I also am looking at the timeline of games being released. So I've kind of I've realized a little bit of something, my friend. So, so about 5 or 6 years is how long it is between remakes. Fire Red and Leaf Green were released on 2004. Heart Gold and Soul Silver were released in '09.
Okay.
Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were released in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
And the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl were released in 2021.
Yeah.
So that means that I would probably expect a new a black and white remake in either 2027 or 2028. Yeah.
Early 2028 or late 2027. And by then it will probably be on the new, I don't know,
platform
Nintendo
thing,
Switch
whatever.
Plus. The Nintendo lap. I don't know. But we'll see.
I will say one of the things I do like is that like if I once my I do like the fact of Pokemon Home being able to like house like it's I really do think though that they need to like up the amount of slots for every person though. That needs to be upped a lot.
What do you mean?
So what I mean is that I have a lot of reservations with the app, but I'm happy to pay for it because A, it's about $16 a year. Who gives a shit? And
see, I have no opinion that one way or another.
Yeah, but for me, it's like I like being able to have every Pokemon I've ever caught in one place, and that's where it's going to be going forward. So the fact that Pokemon Home is going to be like a constant for in the next like going forward is really nice.
Oh yeah, definitely. We'll have plenty of stuff to do in the meantime, but
Absolutely.
all the more to look forward to.
Absolutely. So on the whole, this is the most excited I've been for Pokemon in a very long time.
This is the most hopeful I'm being in a long time. I wasn't excited when Gen 8 was announced, and I was even more burned out when I saw the aftermath of Gen 8. I never bought Sword and Shield. I have no interest to. In fact, if I ever get the game, I'm getting it used so Game Freak doesn't get my money.
Yeah.
But
I'll be honest. Like, I would highly recommend if you do pick it up. I would try picking up the bundle with all the DLC, because quite frankly, like, in my opinion, there is zero reason for any person to play that game without like the Isles of Armor and the Crown Tundra. What kind of bums me out a little bit though is that like I wish they would do like maybe a second round of DLC, because they were fun. I enjoyed them a lot, and the writing and the story and the characters were interesting and cool. But this isn't about a wider Pokemon discussion. This is about what we've got coming up, and
because honestly, we could go back and forth on an actual Pokemon discussion, with our history within. That's a whole other thing. But for right now, let's just
so a couple of core things. The opening trailer was great, very nostalgic. Doesn't hold a candle to the music video from last year. Pokemon Snap looks interesting. Anthony, you're not going to pick it up, probably because it's not your speed. I am about 50-50 on it because I might stream it. It looks cute. The Arceus game looks dope as hell. We don't know a whole ton about it yet, but I'm excited, and I'm probably going to pick Rowlet because Rowlet's my boy out of those three, and I didn't really like Oshawott. I like Cyndaquil, I like Oshawott, but I like Rowlet more than both of them. You're picking Cyndaquil for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
sorry, but I'll pick up Revolver Oshawott next time. Solid Snivy.
I hate you. And lastly, the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl look interesting. I am optimistic for it. I have a lot of reservations because like it's not that hard to like remake it the way we remember it. But like if that's all you do, why the fuck am I paying for it?
Yeah. That said, before it comes out, I might actually take my time to do a playthrough of my own for Diamond Pro, and I might just put on my channel. But until then, I'll probably just live stream it. That would
I
probably
was
be easier for
thinking, I
me.
was actually thinking about doing a live stream of Pokemon Emerald, but I will say, like, I think what I'm going to probably end up doing is I'm going to hold. I was actually going to do something similar with Platinum, but I think I'm going to hold off on that simply because, like, I think living through it again without everything fresh in my mind would probably be better personally. So I'll take a year. I won't expose myself to Platinum or Diamond or Pearl, and
That's actually a good idea. Hey, listen, I already went this long without playing it for a while. I could do it again.
yeah.
It's
I
probably
think
better to experience it full front on the new one.
Yeah, but I think that we've been at this for about a little under double what we did with the watch party. So, I think this was a good discussion. I think I'm excited. I know you're excited, and I know
Yep.
that we're both cautiously optimistic on the whole. Ladies and gentlemen, please go subscribe to Solarsonic21 on YouTube. In his streaming channel, Just Guys Being Dudes. You can find both of those in the featured channel sections on HIMedia on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. And Anthony, do you have any other questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, things you want to say to people, or advice?
I got anything to say right now? I think you kind of cover all the notes. I guess I'll just say my piece and have a good night, everyone. And thank you for listening in.
Thank you guys so much, and we will see you guys next time.